should rise far above the realm of personal life and speak from the spirit and heart of mankind. The personal aspect is a limitation and even a sin in the realm of art. When a form of art is primarily personal, it deserves to be treated as if it were a neurosis. Carol Weston and friends.
Okay, let's see. Well, 28 years ago, I mean, try not to think about the numbers, then why did I tell you? I went to Breadloaf, okay? I recommend it. And, let me see. I went to Breadloaf Writers Conference in Vermont. And, I was going to have Theodore Ruski, but he was sick. So they said I had a choice of a nature poet and this other fellow. Now, I happen to have taken a course at the Boston Center for Adult Education, and I had seen this face in my book. It was an Oscar Williams anthology. And this face was the one that was the possible other person that I could have. And I said, yes, please. I would like that. And I was right. I went to the barn, and I guess they had some of the books out. And so I think, I mean, I can't understand how this all happened, but anyway, so I think they must have had this book. I, of course, put the cover on. I cut it out of one of the other books. I mean, the picture. But anyway, they had a book like this. And so I sat down with my coffee and opened it up. And my God, the flames poured through me. I said, oh my, never had this happened before. And I looked over and I saw something very strange. And I said, I think that must be it. And it was. That was the writer of this book. So, the collected poems, of George Barker. I talked to Robin Prizing, the actor, shortly before I came. I mean, I called him up in New York, and I said, please help me. And he said, Allen Ginsberg said that George was the first one of us, meaning us being all the Ginsbergs. George... anyway, so George was the first one of us. And I'm so glad to have Ginsberg document that, except, of course, I'm very interested in early man. And I'm sure that there was early man with vision and imagination and so forth, but not so much document. There's this book at Grolia's right now, and I found that out from Sebastian Lockwood, who is starting a series tonight of readings. They are free over on Sacramento Street. And they'll be Tuesday nights, and you can look at that. Anyway, Sebastian did a very strange thing. He bought something like a cabin, and he, in Itteringham, Norfolk, because his family was from there, and he went to the pub one day, and what do you think he found? He found this. And this is George. But this is George looking unusually saintly. He does not look like that, as far as I can see. But anyway, in this picture, he must be much older than when I knew him. Because there's a scar over his lip, and some woman didn't want him to go. And, but now he has a moustache. So you see, he looks very civilized. But he's not civilized one bit, God bless him. He retains all his qualities. Nothing is missing. Okay. But he's 74 in 2 days, and that's what we're celebrating, and that's why we have those candles, you see. Well, there's only 2 out of the 3, but anyway. And there is the cake, you see, but it got a little bit squashed. But anyway, afterward, maybe we can have a tiny bit of cake. We leave one to send across the ocean to George and just see what he thinks. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Oh dear. Well, I think I better read something of George's quickly. Because if I forgot to do that, then that would, So picture yourself at Bread Loaf, and if you go to such things, it's worth it, because something extraordinary can happen, and you can encounter a spirit that can help your life to live for the rest of your life. Oh, Garrett Lansing, he suggested Calamitera, so why don't some of you know him, poet in Gloucester, and he suggested Calamitera. In here, I think, yeah. Sorry. The April horror grows over my September. I see my hand glittering with blood and tears, hanging at the bend of my arm like a leech member, fatal, inspired to violence, sowing scars, elevating itself in the anaconda stance, evolving devastation. I see my hand passing over the palace of his face, leaves it pale, bloody, gap-blinded, blank, leaving a wake of pain, leaving a loss, not to be rehabilitated by the perfect prize, the penny, or the cause, the blue tulip, the forget-me-not, or the sky. Therefore I render to my hell hands able the no less agonized blood my hand has bled. I think that might be to his brother. And a misfortune that occurred in their childhood, I assume it was their childhood, was that they were fencing together, and he, by some, his sword went into the eye of his brother. And so what's wonderful is that they remain friends, and it's extremely difficult to remain friends with George. Imagine a whole lifetime, 74 years, this guy has, and not only that, he has become a painter. And they live nearby each other, and thank God for that. Because if you are George, if you are George, it's very, very difficult to live, because you alienate every single person on earth. You open your mouth, and he can be sweet for 5 minutes at a time. Oh dear, I'm so sorry. I forgot something very important. Well, that was naturally going to happen. I forgot the essays. That's all right. It's just that on the back of the cover it says that it's to George's credit that he has no fame, because, well, he didn't butter anyone up. Anyway, it says it in beautiful language. He certainly didn't. Now, so a lot of his awareness occurred during the Second World War. And so I'd like to read News of the World 1, 2, and 3, 161. I think he can't help but think of the world being devastated, comparing it with a woman being devastated.